Okay, so is this clear, the concept of if, else, and else if?
Yes.
Okay. So now I will take another concept which is similar to this, but if you have multiple ifs, okay. What if you have if something is less than something, and also if something is less than something, so if is nested. So in that case, what should we do? So the more ifs, the more confusion it is, right? So if we just use two ifs, you already got confused. The two or three ifs are fine, like here. So we already use if, else if, and else. Okay, three. There is little bit confusion, but if there are seven, let's say, okay, there would be more confusion. So in that case, Java provides another provision called switch case. So let's try and use the switch case. By means of an example, I will illustrate this concept. Okay, so that would be the last of the night for these conditional statements. So we'll end it in 10 minutes. Okay, so the simple query is I want to display the name of the week if I enter the number of the week. Okay, for example, if I pass 1, it should display or print some Sunday. If I enter 2, it should print Monday, and so on and so forth. If I pass 7, it should print Saturday. So there are how many ifs if we actually have to write this program using if else ifs? 7, correct. If 1, Sunday. If 2, else if 2, Monday. Else if 3, Tuesday. Else if 4, Wednesday. Blah blah blah. Else, final else. Okay, final else will be Saturday. Okay, so that means too many ifs. So in that case, we will have to use switch case for the simplicity's sake. So it's called switch case. Actually, spelling is wrong. Okay, switch case for writing a function that would print the name of the week if we pass means the runtime argument. If we actually provide pass the number of the week. Okay, this is just a simple example. Okay, you can use any examples, you can come up with your own. Okay, so let's write the one. So let's call this public void. Okay, what do you want to call the function appropriately? Call it. Yeah, so what do you want to call the function name appropriately? So get the query. This is the query. So you have to call something. What do you want to call? Are you with me? Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Nice. Oh, okay. I thought you were lost. Okay, so call some name. I'm just asking you to give a name to the function. This is the question, right? Switch case for writing a function that would blah blah blah. Okay, so what do you want to call the function appropriately? That is your job. So call it. Public is the access modifier. Why? Because I want to be able to call this function in another class first. So that's why public. Void because I don't want to return anything. So return type is void. Now function name. Okay, can I put function name like this? Java class integer a. Is it okay?
No.
No, because it's not appropriate, right? So that's why I'm asking you. What? Just give me the name.
Week name.
That's it. Week name. Anything. why you are thinking so much? And it should start with a small letter. Okay, so week name is appropriate because that's what we are going to do. We are going to print the week name, simple as that. Okay, now we are going to write the logic here. Okay, using switch case, conditional only. But switch case, I told you why we are using multiple ifs. In order to avoid multiple ifs, we can use switch case. You can also write your own function with ifs, if and else, like I told you before. Okay, so now if I have to write with ifs, it would look like this. Simply, I'm saying if a equals 1, right, equals 1, sys out Sunday. Okay, so this is how it would look like. Very else if a equals 2, sys out Monday. Okay, and this else if this would continue till 7 else. Okay, 6 times, and then final else. Okay, this would look very I mean very awkward. Okay, I mean not very programmatically not very suitable idea. Okay, so if you're dealing with multiple conditions in a week like this, and there may be more, not even just 7, but there may be 100. So in which case definitely no. So in which case switch case comes to switch case is very handy. Okay, so the syntax of switch case is switch, just like if switch. And what do you want to switch? I want to switch a. Okay, that means I want to vary the different values over a. That's what it means. Okay, and just like if has multiple lines, you can have switch. You can have multiple lines inside switch. So whenever you have multiple lines, you always have to have bracket. Okay, so all the logic goes inside again switch. Okay, now there are 7 cases. In switch case, you call them cases. Okay, case 1 colon. Okay, so now what is the case 1? This means if a is equal to 1. Okay, if a equals 1, then what do you want to do? I want to print to the console the equivalent week name. Okay, now you have to break out of this case. Okay, I'll tell you why. If you don't, then it will also go to case 2, case 3, case 4, which is a waste of time, because once if you enter case 1 Sunday, that's it done. Okay, you don't have to check again 2, 3 because you already entered 1. Then you can come out of the loop. So the break actually is to indicate, hey, come out of the switch case loop. So your job is over here. Okay, now let's say case is 2. That means you have entered 2 runtime, because this is where you are going to enter when calling in test. You are going to enter something here, right? So if you enter 2, what should it print? Sys out. What should it print? Monday. Okay. Now this is the simplest example. You cannot go any simpler than this. That's why I took this example. You can come up with. I'll give you more homework. Okay. So little bit more complex. Now again break. Okay. So case 2. If you enter 2 at the time of calling in test, you print it Monday and don't go any further. Okay. Just come out of the loop, the switch loop. The break will do that. Okay. Now case 3 sys out Tuesday. So likewise, we are going to define all the cases. Case 4 sys out name on Tuesday, Wednesday. Case 5. So every time it's the same. Syntactically, you have to use the same syntax. Okay, case 4 and colon. Okay, if you may ask a question here. You didn't ask, but I am asking question and answering it too. If you have string, what if you have string? Then you have to put this in double quotes. Okay, because it's an integer, I am not putting in double quotes. So if you get an example, I'll give you that example so that you have to put that. Simple, just like if. Okay, if you put value inside the quotes if it is a string. So same thing in switch case also. Okay, so this is a string, so that's why I'm putting in a quotes. Case 6 is case 6. Friday and break. Okay. Now finally Saturday. Okay, but we will also define that case. Okay, so you cannot put else, but I'll tell you what should we do otherwise. Okay. So now all the days of the weeks are printed appropriately based on the input choice. Now what if the user enters 10 or let's say 8? Okay, so did you define 8? No, your definition starts from 1 through 7, right? Now your definition doesn't go beyond 7 because there are no weeks beyond Saturday. Now there is a possibility that user might accidentally or intentionally enter something which is neither 1 or nor 7 or anything in between. Okay, so in that case you have to put a default condition. It is you have to put a default condition. It is not a must, but it's good practice. So default indicates if you enter any other number, you tell something to the user. Okay, hey, please do not enter number, only enter the numbers between 1 and 7, something like that. Just notice. Okay, so you can say something like this: the number you have entered is not between 1 and 7, or just please enter correct number. Okay, something like this, so that user will know and he will immediately correct it, just for the sake of debugging. But in real programming also you enter something like this. So for example, you see something like in age field, like if you're signing up for Gmail or something, you enter age. But if you enter age like ABCD, it will immediately show you, right? Okay, please enter the numbers, not the alphabets. So that means it went into the switch case default. Okay, then developer is asking you to enter the correct number. So okay, so now let's go and execute it. Okay, so tell me how to execute, how to call this. C dot. What is the function name?
Switch.
No.
Weak name.
Weak name. So you have to remember. Okay, now enter something. Okay, what it is asking you to enter? You got the question, right? You got the what is the query? Query is if you enter a number, it will print the whatever the weak name is. Okay, now enter the number. What you want it to be printed?
3.
3. Okay, so let's try 3. And what do you think the output would be? If you know the query, huh?
Tuesday.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's it. Correct. Okay, that's the expected result. Now let's see the actual result. Tuesday. Correct. So that means our function is working fine. Okay. So now tell me any other number. Let's try 2, 3 numbers and with the wrong number also. This is a positive testing actually. Okay, let's do one more positive testing. Tell me any other number.
5, 8.
5. Okay, let's come to negative later. Okay, 5 is Thursday. Perfect. Okay, now let's do the negative testing. Okay, tell me any another number which is not true, not correct.
10.
10. Okay, so 10 is obviously not defined, so that is a negative. Okay, negative value. Let's see how it responds. Okay, how did it respond? The number you have entered is not between 1 and 7. Please enter the correct number, right? So that means what happened? What just happened is it went into the which case?
Default.
Default case, correct. Because the cases we have only defined for 1 through 7 only. Whatever case is not defined, then it will automatically go to the default case. So that's why it is very important to define the default case also. And you can put a break also. It's not, doesn't matter because the default is last one, so it doesn't matter. So what happened was when we entered, let's say first we entered 3, right? So it came here integer 3, then it switch 3, so it looks for where the case is 3, so it doesn't go here, directly comes to case 3. Then whatever is here, it just executes this. That's why it executed Thursday, that means it printed Thursday. Then it broke out of the loop, that it didn't go to 4 again, right? It breaks out of the loop, so that means it comes out of the loop here, then that's it. So same thing for 7 or 6 or whatever, and default also same thing, it comes directly to this default case and it comes out of the loop. So that these are the different conditional structures which will include the if else conditions and switch case. So these are the most frequently used conditional structures. So we learned about these conditional structures today and basic with the basic examples. Okay, so now we are going to use this a lot because this is just the beginning, and since we are going to use this a lot in automation also, I'm going to give you simple homework which you can do. Simple homework, not very complex. Okay, so 2 homeworks. I will send you an email, but just for the timing, I'll write it here and so that you can understand. Okay. So I'm just putting a placeholder here. I'm not going to write the whole function. Okay. So one is using the switch case. Let's start with the switch case and go to the other example with multiple ifs and so forth. So first one is write a program to display month number. Okay. When month name is passed. Okay, it's other way around. I am not asking you to enter number and print the name. Okay, it's reverse of the above. So user is going to enter the name, then you have to enter number. So example is if user enters January, then you have to print the month number is 1. Okay, and something go through all the way till 12 and also put a default condition. If I enter like something like ABCD, okay, so obviously that's not the correct month name, so you have to enter something like this. So please enter the correct month name. Okay, so do that using the switch case only. Switch case only. Okay, that's the first homework. And second homework, let's use the if conditions homework also, because if conditions are so important, not just the switch case, because only when if you find more ifs, then it's suggestible to use switch case, otherwise not. Okay, so then one more is, okay, so we have seen maximum out of 3 numbers, maximum out of 2 numbers, minimum out of 2 numbers, minimum out of 3 numbers also, right? Now how to find a maximum if there are more than 3 numbers. Okay, so write a function or program to find out the greatest of n numbers. So I'm going to give you not 3, 4, 5, 6, just n numbers. Okay, in an array. Okay, array might contain any numbers, right? So you take any array. I already told you about arrays. Array could contain any numbers, right? And the length of the array could be found by that array dot length. So we have already taken example about that. So I will give you array and that has n numbers. It could be 5 or 4. Okay, I'll just give you a hint here. So integer array. Okay, all you take is integer array. So how do you define integer array? Integer followed by bracket open bracket close, the square bracket, and let's call this x. Okay, now this has, let's say, 1 4 5 7 8 9. Okay, these many numbers, 1 2 3 4 5 6 numbers. Okay, now you have to write a function that will find out the maximum out of these many numbers which are in array. Okay, so try that, and if you don't find, if you're not able to write it, that's fine too, but just try it. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to write this too. First one would be easy because it's straightforward. The second is little difficult, but you can try it. All right. Okay, so I'll end this session tonight here. See you in the next class on Saturday. All right, bye-bye. Good night. Any questions you can ask? Any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, then yeah, good night. I'll send you the notes and homework in the email. All right.